Imagine standing in front of 90,000 screaming fans. One mistake could cost your team the championship. How do elite athletes stay focused? Is concentration a gift, or can anyone train their brain to focus? Today, we'll discover one of sports psychology's most valuable skills, attention and concentration. Because honestly, understanding how the mind works under that kind of intense pressure isn't just a fascinating look into the world of elite sports, it is a profound insight into human potential itself.
Section 1. The Power of Focus.
In the high-stakes world of competitive sports, athletes are just constantly bombarded by an endless stream of distractions. We're talking about the absolutely deafening noise from spectators, the intense, suffocating pressure from aggressive opponents, wild weather conditions, the lingering memory of a mistake they made 5 minutes ago, and of course that paralyzing fear of failure. Now, the ability to manage all these overwhelming distractions, that is exactly what separates the true champions from your average performers. And it really all comes down to understanding two terms we actually tend to use interchangeably: attention and concentration. Attention is the initial process of selecting important information while actively ignoring distractions. It's the batsman's ability to lock eyes on the cricket ball and completely filter out those 90,000 screaming fans. Concentration, however, is the stamina required to maintain that attention on a specific task over a sustained period of time. Think of it like this. Attention is finding the signal in the noise. Concentration is holding on to that signal, play after play, minute after minute, without letting go.
Section 2. The Styles of Attention.
So, elite performers, they don't just go out there and grit their teeth and try hard to focus. They're way more strategic than that. They direct their attention only toward information that actively improves their performance. To understand how they do this, sports psychologists use a really specific framework to categorize attention. Think of it as a grid with two main axes. First, you've got the scope of attention, broad versus narrow. And second, you've got the direction of attention, internal versus external. The most successful athletes out there, they know exactly which quadrant they need to be in for any given situation. And more importantly, they know exactly when to shift between these different styles as the game unfolds.
First up, we have broad attention. Picture a football player dynamically scanning the field. They aren't just staring at the ball, their mind is taking in a wide, sweeping array of information. Broad attention helps athletes understand the overall situation. It's that incredible ability to simultaneously observe where your teammates are making runs, where the opponents are setting up their defense, and just instantly understanding the entire spatial landscape of the game at a single glance.
On the flip side, we have narrow attention. This is laser focus. Think of an archer aiming perfectly at the very center of a target, or that batsman we talked about, watching nothing but the incoming ball. Narrow attention deliberately restricts the amount of information your brain processes. You are ignoring the whole field, you're tuning out the crowd, and you are zeroing in entirely on one extremely specific, highly vital target.
Then we have the direction of your focus. External attention is directed outward, right onto the environment around you. The ball, the target, the opponent, the weather. Internal attention is entirely different. This is when the athlete turns their mental spotlight inward. They focus on their own physical and emotional state. This means paying really close attention to their breathing patterns, regulating their racing emotions, or focusing on the precise biomechanical movements of their own body. Knowing when to look outward and when to look inward, that is a true hallmark of a champion mind.
Section 3. Training your mind.
Which brings us to a massive realization, and frankly, the best news of this entire explainer. Concentration is not an innate gift you are simply born with or without. It is a highly trainable skill. Just as an athlete goes to the gym to build physical muscle, they have to build mental muscle. Concentration improves with dedicated, intentional practice. So how do they actually do it? Well, many athletes develop strict pre-performance routines before their competitions. These routines act as mental anchors. We're talking about highly practical methods here. Deep breathing to instantly calm the nervous system, visualization to mentally rehearse a successful play before it even happens, positive self-talk to build immediate confidence, and repeating simple cue words to snap the brain right into the perfect state of narrow attention. These aren't just silly superstitions, they are scientifically backed methods to manufacture focus exactly when it is needed most.
And this actually connects beautifully to what we've been learning recently. By integrating these specific visualization techniques and simple cue words, we are directly building on the frameworks we discussed in our previous explainers on goal setting and positive self-talk. You see, the skills are cumulative. When you set a really clear goal, reinforce it with positive self-talk, and then apply targeted concentration techniques, you are building an incredibly resilient psychological foundation. It's like putting all the puzzle pieces together.
Section 4. The art of refocusing.
But hey, let's be totally realistic for a moment. No matter how well you train, distractions are going to appear. It's absolutely inevitable. The pressure from a rival, a sudden loud noise in the crowd, or obsessing over a previous mistake, they will occasionally break through your mental defenses. The true test of a champion isn't whether they never get distracted, it's what they do in the exact split second after the distraction happens. We call this critical skill the art of refocusing, and it's a wonderfully simple 3-step process. Step 1, notice the distraction. You just have to be aware that your mind has wandered. It's like realizing you're suddenly daydreaming about an embarrassing moment from 5 years ago right in the middle of a crucial meeting. Step 2, avoid frustration. Now this is the hardest part. When we make a mistake, our natural instinct is to get angry at ourselves, but frustration only breaks your concentration even further. Step 3, gently return your attention to the present moment. Notice the word gently there. You don't aggressively force your mind, you smoothly, calmly guide it back to the task at hand. Master this loop, and I promise you, you become mentally unstoppable.
Section 5. Focus beyond the field. Everything we've talked about so far extends way beyond the stadium. The ability to manage your attention and sustain your concentration is a fundamentally human requirement for excellence in absolutely any demanding field. These skills belong to our everyday champions. Students sitting in absolute tense silence in exam halls, navigating the heavy pressure of a final test. Surgeons performing incredibly complex, hours-long operations where narrow attention is literally a matter of life and death. Musicians performing flawlessly in front of a highly critical audience. Or even professionals working deep into a complex project despite a bustling, noisy office. These individuals are using the exact same sports psychology techniques, managing internal and external focus, employing those pre-performance routines, and constantly refocusing to maintain their concentration despite the inevitable distractions of everyday life.
Ultimately, whether you are stepping onto a pitch, walking into an operating theater, or sitting down to take a crucial exam, your mind is your absolute most powerful asset. You have the ability to select your focus, ignore the noise, and hold your concentration. Because, as the saying goes, where attention goes, performance follows.
Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you're leaving with a few new tools to train your own champion mind today. So the next time you feel the pressure mounting and the noise rising, just ask yourself, what will you choose to focus on? Coming up next on our agenda, we'll be exploring competition and cooperation, why great teams win together. You definitely won't want to miss it. See you next time.